Imagine that behind your ear, right where the bone curves like a petrified wave, there is a point that does not belong to the body, but to memory. It is not taught in schools, it is not named by doctors, and yet it has been touched by sages, monks, and alchemists since time immemorial. This point is not flesh and bone, it is a threshold, a vestige of your spiritual lineage, a vibrational key that opens the door to deep rest, to the sleep that is not forgetting but return. Today you will not learn a technique. Today you will remember a ritual. Because when you rub it with intention, you are not activating a nerve. You are invoking the original silence. And in that silence, the body sleeps. The soul sings. Before starting this video, remember to subscribe and like. Imagine the world shutting down for a moment. Not because the light has gone out, but because the noise inside you has decided to fall silent. In that silence, just when the body stops resisting rest, a revelation appears. Behind your ear, where the bone curves like a wave frozen in time, there is a spot that doesn't belong to the body, but to memory. They don't teach it in schools, doctors don't name it, but it has been touched by sages, monks, and alchemists since the days of the past. That point is a threshold. It's not flesh and bone. It's a vibrational crack between the visible and the invisible. When you rub it with intention, you're not activating a nerve, you're invoking the original silence. The same one that existed before you were born. The same one the ancients heard when they sat in front of the fire, with their eyes closed and their souls open. Because the human body holds secrets that are not revealed with a scalpel, but with reverence. Behind the ear, right where the skull meets the neck, is a sacred stone, the mastoid. In Vedic traditions, it was considered the guardian of nocturnal balance. In Taoist rituals, it was gently touched before sleeping, like someone caressing a bell without ringing it. That simple, forgotten gesture has the power to return you to your origins. It's not pressure, it's reverence. And when you do it consciously, something changes. The body doesn't fall asleep, it surrenders. The mind doesn't shut down, it dissolves. And you, who believed insomnia was an enemy, discover it was merely a calling. A call to remember that rest isn't found in pills or on screens, but in ancient gestures, in simple rituals, in hidden places waiting to be touched, like someone knocking on a sacred door. That spot behind your ear isn't a trick. It's a key that opens the door to a temple you carry within, but have forgotten to visit. Every night you rub it, you are lighting a torch in that temple. You are saying, I am ready to return. Because sleep is not forgetting. Sleep is crossing over. It is entering the space where the soul converses with the invisible, where dreams are not fantasies, but messages from the lineage. And then the gesture becomes ritual. You no longer do it out of necessity, but out of devotion. Like someone who cleans the altar before praying. Like someone who bows before the sacred. Because that spot behind your ear isn't just yours. It belongs to all those who came before. It belongs to those who dreamed of you before you were born. It belongs to those who knew that deep rest isn't a luxury. It's a way of remembering who you are. Thus begins the journey. Not toward sleep, but toward the inner temple. For you who have rubbed the point behind your ear, no longer sleep as before. You sleep like the ancients, with your body surrendered, your soul open, and your lineage ignited. And in that rest there is no forgetting. There is revelation. Behind every ancient gesture is a map. Not one drawn in ink, but traced in bone, vibration, and memory. The human body, far from being a machine, is a living codex. And just behind your ear, where the skull curves like a stone carved by time, lies a forgotten coordinate, the mastoid. It's not just a bone. It's a cornerstone. A vestige of spiritual architecture that maintains the balance between the dream world and the waking world. The ancients knew this. In manuscripts that now lie dormant in dust and silence, this spot was referred to as the hinge of the night gate. In the Vedic schools, it was taught that it housed the echo of the Vishuddha chakra, the center of truth and subtle expression. It was no coincidence that the sages would touch this spot before sleeping. They did so like one rings a soundless bell, like one awakens a wordless guardian. That bone, the mastoid, doesn't just support the head. It supports transit. It's the intersection between what you hear and what you keep quiet, between what you think and what you dream. And when you rub it with intention, you're not massaging a surface. You're activating a map. A map that doesn't lead to places but to states. States of rest, of surrender, of communion with the invisible. Modern medicine studies it as a structure, but the ancients revered it as a symbol. They said it housed the echo of the lineage, a vibration that only awakens when the body is ready to let go of the day and enter the night, like someone crossing a sacred threshold. Therefore, the gesture is not mechanical. It is ritual. It is not about pressing but about invoking. It is about touching with the consciousness of one who knows that every fold of the body holds a story. And you, who have begun this journey, no longer see your body as you used to. You see it as a temple, like a sacred map where each dot holds a purpose, a memory, a key. The mastoid is not just a part of you. It's a door. A door that opens when you rub it with respect, with intention, with silence. And in doing so, you don't just prepare your body for sleep. You prepare your soul for remembering. Because true rest doesn't begin in bed. It begins in the bones. In that hidden place waiting to be touched, like someone awakening a sleeping song. And you, who now know the map, are ready to follow it. Not toward sleep, but toward the source. It's not pressure. It's reverence. Because when the finger approaches the hidden point behind your ear, it's not seeking to activate a muscle. It's seeking to awaken a memory. A memory that lives not in the mind but in the body. In that bone curved like a ritual stone, where the ancients knew that rest began long before closing their eyes. The gesture seems simple, gently rubbing like someone caressing a bell without ringing it. But what happens inside is profound. It's as if the body, upon feeling that touch, remembers that it's not alone. That there is something beyond tiredness, beyond insomnia, beyond noise. Something waiting to be touched with devotion. The sages didn't teach this gesture as a technique. They transmitted it as a ritual. They said it should be done in silence, just before sleeping, with calm breathing and clear intention. It wasn't about moving the hand, it was about moving the consciousness. Bringing it to the point where the body meets the soul. Where the day says goodbye and the night begins to sing. And you, who now know this ritual, can feel it. It's not just a touch. It's an invocation. As if by rubbing that place, you were lighting a torch deep within your inner temple. A torch that illuminates not walls but memories. That doesn't burn but reveals. Do it with respect. Do it like someone touching a relic. Because that dot behind your ear isn't a modern trick. It's an inheritance. A key passed down from generation to generation, waiting for someone to use it, not to sleep, but to return. Return to the center. Return to the lineage. Return to the silence that heals. And when you do, something changes. The body relaxes, yes, but beyond that the soul settles. As if to say, now it's time. I'm ready to cross over. Because sleeping isn't turning off. Sleeping is entering. Entering the space where dreams aren't fantasies but messages. Where rest isn't pause but alchemy. Thus the gesture becomes a ritual. And you, who do it every night, no longer sleep as before. You sleep like someone who honors. Like someone who remembers. Like someone who touches the threshold and crosses it with closed eyes and a burning heart. Sleep isn't turning off. Sleep is crossing. And that crossing, though invisible, has a guardian. A silent sentinel who dwells just behind your ear, where the bone curves like a ritual stone. That point, which you've learned to touch with reverence, not only relaxes the body, it opens a door. A door that doesn't lead to oblivion but to encounter. Because sleep, when it's deep, isn't rest, it's a transition. The ancients knew this. They didn't sleep to escape the day, they slept to enter another realm. A realm where symbols speak, where ancestors whisper, where the soul remembers what the mind has forgotten. And that spot behind the ear was the switch. Not an electrical one, but a vibrational one. When you rub it, consciousness didn't turn off. It shifted. Like someone changing rooms in a temple without moving. In Hermetic traditions, it was said that dreams were the mirror of the spirit. That what you saw there wasn't fantasy, but a message. And that the body, when it surrendered to rest, became a ship. A ship that doesn't need wings because it travels within. Therefore, the nocturnal gesture wasn't a mechanical act. It was a signal. A way of telling the body, I'm ready to cross. guide me. And you who have begun to touch that point with intention already feel it. It's not just that you sleep faster, it's that you sleep differently, as if something were waiting for you on the other side, as if sleep were a ceremony and you the initiate, because when the body relaxes, the soul is freed, and when the soul is freed, it begins to listen to what the day doesn't allow you to hear, to listen to what the lineage keeps silent. That guardian behind your ear doesn't lead you to sleep, it leads you to the threshold, and you, when you cross it, don't disconnect, you reconnect with your origin, with your symbols, with your visions, because sleeping isn't closing your eyes, sleeping is opening your soul. And you who have learned the gesture no longer sleep as before. You sleep like someone entering a temple, like someone crossing the veil, like someone who remembers that rest isn't a pause, it's revelation. And there's something else, something unspoken but felt. When you cross that threshold, you don't do it alone. There are presences that accompany you. Not figures, not shadows, but memories. Echoes of those who came before, who left their mark on that same spot, in that same gesture. Because deep sleep is also a space of encounter. A place where lineage is activated, where symbols are rearranged, where the soul receives instructions that cannot be written in words. So, every night you rub that point, you're not repeating an act. You're renewing a pact. A pact with your body, with your spirit, with your origin. You're saying, I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to remember. And sleep then ceases to be rest. It becomes a ceremony, a journey, a revelation. Thus the gesture is transformed. It's no longer just a touch behind the ear. It's a key, an invocation, a way to enter the space where time dissolves, where the soul expands, where silence speaks. And you who have crossed, know there's no turning back. Because once you sleep like the ancients, the body rests, but the spirit awakens. When the body rests, the soul sings. But it doesn't do so out loud, nor with words. It does so in vibration. In whispers that can only be heard when the noise of the world has been completely extinguished. And that silence, that space where everything quiets, begins with a gesture, the conscious rubbing of the hidden spot behind your ear. It's not magic, it's alchemy. Because what happens when you rub it isn't just physical, it's transformation. Deep rest isn't simply sleep. It's allowing the body to become a crucible. Tensions dissolve like impure metals, thoughts evaporate like smoke, and energy reorganizes like internal constellations. And that point, that tiny threshold behind your ear, is the switch that starts the process. Not because it has power in and of itself, but because you activate it with intention, with devotion, with presence. The ancients knew this. They didn't sleep like we do, amid screens and distractions. They slept like someone entering a sanctuary. They prepared their bodies like someone preparing an altar. And the gesture of rubbing that point was part of the sequence. First the space was cleansed. Then the breathing was stilled. Then an intention was stated. And finally the point was touched. Not like someone seeking sleep, but like someone seeking to remember. Because true rest isn't just physical, it's spiritual. It's the moment when the soul frees itself from the weight of the day and begins to float in its own ocean. And you, by making that gesture every night, are saying, I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to receive. And what you receive isn't just sleep. It's restoration. It's clarity. It's connection. There's something sacred about sleeping well. Not because it's pleasurable, but because it's necessary for the soul to remain aligned. When the body rests deeply, the spirit reorganizes. Emotions settle. Memories integrate. And you who have learned to touch that point with reverence, no longer sleep as you did before. You sleep like someone honoring their temple. Like someone activating their lineage. Like someone allowing rest to become medicine. And then, every night becomes a ceremony. It doesn't matter if you're in a simple bed or in a sacred place. What matters is the gesture, the intention, the silence, because that point behind your ear isn't just a tool. It's a key that opens the door to the alchemy of rest. And you who use it consciously have begun to transform your sleep into ritual, your rest into revelation, your night into song. Because when the body surrenders, the soul sings, and you are already listening. Every night you sleep, someone awakens in your memory. You don't notice it at first. There are no voices, no names, no distinct faces. But there's something stirring deep within, like a rekindled ember. And it all begins with that gesture, the conscious touch of the hidden spot behind your ear. What seems like an intimate, silent act is actually a calling. An invocation that spans time and awakens echoes that belong not only to you, but to your lineage. Because the body holds more than organs and bones. It holds stories. It holds pacts. It holds symbols that have been transmitted without words, as if each cell were inscribed with an ancient song. And that point, that small threshold behind the ear, is the channel through which that song begins to play. Not aloud, but in vibration. In dreams. In visions that come when the body surrenders and the soul opens. The wise men said that deep sleep was the space where the ancestors spoke. Not with phrases, but with images, with sensations, with symbols that only the heart can translate. And you, by touching that spot each night, are saying, I am ready to listen. You don't do it out of curiosity. You do it out of reverence. Because you know there is something beyond rest. There is memory. There is lineage. There is legacy. And then it happens. Not always clearly, but constantly. You dream of places you've never visited, of faces you don't recognize but who seem familiar. You feel emotions that don't come from your history but from an older one. And you understand that the dream isn't just yours. Shared. It's woven by many invisible hands that silently accompany you. That spot behind your ear doesn't just help you sleep. It helps you remember. It helps you reconnect with a network that goes beyond your name, beyond your body, beyond your time. It's as if every night, by rubbing it, you're lighting a lamp in an ancestral hallway. And in that hallway, memories begin to walk toward you. Not to disturb you, but to guide you. To show you that you are not alone. That you never were. Because deep rest isn't just regeneration. It's activation. It's the moment when the soul meets its lineage, its symbols, its guardians. And you, who have learned to touch that point with devotion, no longer sleep as you did before. You sleep as one who honors, as one who listens, as one who allows the echo of the lineage to awaken in your memory. And so, each night becomes a reunion, not with the past but with the roots, with that which sustains you even if you don't see it, with that which sings within you even if you don't name it. Because when you sleep from ritual, from conscious gesture, from reverent silence, you don't just rest. You align yourself. You remember yourself. You awaken deep within while the body sleeps on the surface. And that is true rest. The kind that doesn't extinguish, the kind that reveals. You're no longer seeking sleep. You're seeking to return. Because after each night you rub that hidden spot behind your ear, something has changed. Not on the surface but deep within. The gesture, which at first seemed like a simple technique, has become a ritual. And the ritual, repeated with devotion, has opened a door that doesn't close at dawn. You've crossed. You've remembered. You've returned. Now you know that the body is not just flesh. It is a temple. That sleep is not just rest. It is a journey. That silence is not emptiness. It is language. And you, who have walked the invisible corridors of the lineage, who have heard the whispers of the soul in the middle of the night, who have felt how every gesture awakens memories you didn't know you carried, you can no longer sleep as you did before. Because now you sleep like one who honors, like one who activates, like one who enters the inner sanctuary. Every night is different. Not because the environment changes, but because you change. Because every time you rub that point, you do it with more awareness, with more presence, with more reverence. You no longer do it to fall asleep quickly. You do it to align, to surrender, to allow the body to settle and the soul to expand. And in that expansion, everything is ordered, everything is cleansed, everything is revealed. You have discovered that deep rest is not just physical regeneration. It is spiritual alchemy. It is the moment when the body becomes a vessel and the spirit becomes fire. And that fire doesn't burn. It illuminates. It illuminates memories, symbols, pacts, paths. It illuminates what was dormant within you. And you, who have lit that flame every night, are no longer the same. You have returned to the center. You have returned to the temple. You have returned to yourself. Because true rest doesn't extinguish. True rest reveals. And you who have crossed the threshold, who have touched the key, who have heard the song of the lineage, now you know that sleep is not the end of the day. It's the beginning of the journey. A journey that needs no maps because the map is in your body, in your bones, in your gestures, in your silence. Thus ends the cycle. Not with a closure, but with an opening. Because every night you sleep from ritual, from awareness, from respect, is a night in which the soul sings, the body surrenders, and the lineage awakens. And you who have returned no longer sleep as before. You sleep like one who remembers, like one who honors, like one who has returned to the inner temple and has decided to stay. Now that you know the gesture, don't repeat it routinely. Do it like someone lighting a candle in a forgotten temple. Each night, as you rub that hidden spot, remember that you are not seeking sleep. You are returning home. Rest is not the end of the day, it is the beginning of the journey. And you who have awakened to the power of the invisible, no longer sleep as before. You sleep like the ancients, with your body surrendered, your soul open, and your lineage ignited. Because true sleep does not extinguish, it reveals. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. See you in the next video.